What's up, everybody? Back for another beer review, and today is Wednesday, which of course means it's time for another Western New York Wednesday here on the channel. And the beer I'm reviewing today comes from the Southern Tier Brewing Company, and they're out of Lakewood, New York. And this is their Nitro S'mores, and this is a part of their Blackwater Series. So this is what they are calling an Imperial Milk Stout that is brewed with chocolate, graham cracker, and vanilla flavors added. Comes in at 10% alcohol by volume, 40 IBUs, and at the time of review, this can is approximately 1 month old. So yeah, I saw this one at a local Wegmans grocery store for the first time a couple weeks ago, and it was, I believe, either $11.99 or $12.99 a 4-pack. And you know, I figured 12-ounce can, 10% alcohol by volume, you know, a bunch of different adjuncts. That's a pretty good price. Well, a friend of mine and viewer of the channel, Sadiq, actually in the comment section, I forget on which video, I think it might have been the Lakeshore Fog that I did, their New England style IPA. And he mentioned that he saw this show up in his area, and I believe he's in Georgia. And I believe he said it was like 14 bucks, so $13.99 for a 4-pack. And he thought that was quite high, so he didn't pick any up. And I was like, you know what, for 12-ounce cans, you get a 4-pack for, you know, even $12 to $14, I think is a good deal. And he goes, no, they're actually 9.6 fluid ounce cans, not 12. And I was like, really? Sure enough, on here it says volume 9.6 fluid ounces. So the technology they use in this cans, and these cans specifically, must be very similar or exactly the same as BrewDog used in their Nitro Choco Libre, which was also 9.6 fluid ounce can. For me though, I think I paid, like I said, around 12, 13 bucks for this. Even at 9.6 ounces for something that's 10% with all these adjuncts, I still think for me personally it's a good deal. For somebody like Sadiq or somebody else, you might think that's a terrible deal. You know, it's all in the eye of the beholder. But for me, I was like, I want to try this out, so I grabbed it. Now on their website, they also do say that this is going to have notes of Himalayan sea salt. Okay, I don't know why they didn't mention that on the can. If this is gonna have hints of Himalayan sea salt, I'd imagine they brewed it with Himalayan sea salt. I have no idea. But yeah, so this sounds like a s'mores Imperial Stout in a Nitro can. So yeah, anyway, let's crack this open, get into it. I would usually use my hashtag proper glassware Southern Tier glass, but I believe that's only like a 10 ounce glass, something like that. So this is 9.6 ounces. You're gonna have a head on it. It's Nitro. You're gonna pour it hard. I didn't want to spill it everywhere, so we'll go with the left hand glass because, you know, left hand milk stout. It's a, you know, it's a classic. So yeah, beautiful. Works out. Oh my Lord, this is gonna take forever and ever and ever to probably settle. Holy crap. Anyway, okay. So while that settles, let's just have a nice conversation. So, question for anyone out there, have you guys seen this one? If you have, what is the price on a 4-pack of this or a single can? Here's an interesting thing. It says we have time for it to let it settle. I will also want to say this is about 45 minutes out of the fridge, so it is a little bit warmer, so I can actually taste the different flavors, because a lot of times it'll be like, drink super cold, you drink it super cold, you can't get any of the flavors, and it's a mess. Anyway, this one showed up in the Mix a 6-pack at Wegmans. Like, so this past weekend, actually, I went to Wegmans. I'm looking at their Mix of Sixers, and I'm like, why is this in the Mix of 6? The 4-pack of this is at least $12. I could have waited a couple weeks and bought a 6-pack of this at Wegmans for $10.99. Now, Sadiq, for that price, I'm pretty sure you would have bought this, because I was considering buying more cans even before trying it, just because it was such a great deal. That's like a Rajay deal. Maybe not quite a Rajay deal, but $10.99 for a 6-pack of a 10% crazy adjunct nitro beer. I think most people would at least buy a couple cans of it. I didn't though. I passed on it just because, like I said, I already bought a 4-pack of it. Anyway, this is settled enough to so I can stop flapping my gums about nonsense. So yeah, that pours out a really deep dark brown. On camera probably come off pitch black, but no, definitely not in person. Has about a 1, 2, like 2.5 finger head. I'm using my fat fingers, I don't know why. About a 2.5 finger of a creamy nitro head that is straight on like tan. You know, maybe slightly mocha, but a little, that's more like tan. And yeah, it's a nitro head. I mean, that looks super smooth and delectable and creamy and looks just awesome. So let's get a nose on it. Holy shit, that smells like s'mores. That smells like s'mores, holy Christ. Okay, so I think the Nitro Choco Libre from BrewDog was one of the best aromas I've ever had in a nitro beer. This is going to surpass it just based on the first. Oh my God. So, you know, Southern Tier, They say flavors added, so I'd imagine that graham cracker is not real, that vanilla is not real, the chocolate's not real. They're probably just using a bunch of different extracts. But I will say they have done an amazing job on the nose on this one. This smells like a straight up s'mores in alcoholic form. That's what it smells like. You get the graham cracker, you get the vanilla that's coming off as like straight on marshmallow. Definitely huge, like sweet milk chocolate, like Hershey's, just Hershey's milk chocolate, which a lot of people just use for s'mores. Most people. Oh, it smells so sweet though. It does smell like someone took a s'mores, liquefied it, and put it in this glass because it smells really sweet. Holy shit. Like, I just want to, like, time out. I just want to sit here and sniff this. I don't want to drink this. I just want to smell it. This might be the best aroma I may have ever smelled in any beer ever. I know, it's a crazy claim, but this smells fucking absolutely amazing. I don't imagine that I'm going to give this lower than a 4.5 out or 4 out of 5, period. Just based on the aroma. And my mouth is watering. I want to get into it. Cheers, everybody. Wow. Wow. Yo. Yo, so, you know, I've had a lot of different s'mores beers and whatever. However, Southern Tier has managed to get actual s'mores into this beer is fucking insane to me. Because this tastes like a liquefied s'mores. Hands down, no questions for me. Hands down, no questions. No questions asked. No questions even thought about. Crazy. Body is like medium to higher side of medium body, 10%. Definitely thin. Typically nitro. They're usually just thin. Whatever, it happens. The mouthfeel on this one, I don't even have to say anything, right? It's a nitro mouthfeel. I mean, if you've had a nitro beer, if you've had Guinness before, you know what the nitro brings to it. This is like the creamiest and smoothest, you know, beer you can possibly ask for. It's absolutely fucking crazy because the actual base, so, you know, there's, you know, the head hanging around like it typically does in a nitro beer. The base of the beer is all chocolate, all sweet chocolate, a little bit of touch of roast. There's a little bit of like, yeah, more of like a roast chocolate, maybe even a touch of coffee, but like every single sip you get a little bit of, you know, the head in here. And that provides not only the smooth creaminess to the mouthfeel that kind of replicates like a marshmallow, but it also has the flavors of a marshmallow. And then there's graham cracker everywhere. This is definitely a s'mores. This is 5 out of 5 all day long for a nitro s'mores beer. If you want a s'mores beer in a nitro can, I cannot, and I will say this, I'll just straight up say it without question. For me, how I feel, I don't think you can get better than this for a nitro s'mores beer. And if you can, I would like to see it because this is exactly what it says it is. It's a Nitro S'mores Imperial Milk Stout. That's what this is. Personal preference. Here's the thing. It's fucking delicious. The taste on this alone is 5 out of 5. But, you know, I got to rate it based on everything from body to mouthfeel to, you know, the sweetness, everything. First things first, this is definitely a bit too sweet for me. I'm glad this is a 9.6 ounce fluid cans. Maybe, Sadiq, maybe you want to just grab one of these because I do think an extra couple ounces might be too much for me. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm being honest. Yeah, this is definitely super sweet. One of these cans and I'm done. My preference would be for this to come in a 16 ounce can and then share it with somebody to have 8 ounces as even opposed to 9.6. But the only thing I can knock on this beer is that it's too sweet and the body's too thin. The body for me is going to be thin because it is a nitro beer to begin with, but also I knew it was going to be sweet going into it, so I can't knock it that much. Listen, I might be a bit too high, maybe be crazy high. But as far as what I'm drinking in this can and what they're going for and how I feel about this beer, I cannot give this beer any lower than a high 4.5 out of 5. I'm going 4.6 out of 5 for Nitro S'mores, part of their Blackwater series from Southern Tier. If you've had anything in their Blackwater series, you know that they're big, sweet beers. So I'm not surprised this is sweet, but I'm just saying it's too sweet for my palate. I will just say this. If you like s'mores, like the actual s'mores, you know what I mean? If you like eating those, but you like s'mores beers as well, you like nitro beers, try this out. Chris over at Off the 10th, if you don't pick this up, you're doing a huge disservice to yourself because I can't imagine you not liking this, like, at all. This finish is sweet. There's a very, like, slight touch of bitterness and a little bit of dryness, but this is full on pretty much like 95% sweet. And I feel like, Chris, you would like it. I know your palate has evolved into a hashtag like adult palate, but at this point, like, I still think you'd love this beer. I still love this beer. I just wish that the sweetness wasn't as big as it is, but as it is, like, I can't knock this beer really too much outside from the body and just the sweetness. Yeah, this is fucking delicious. Like, this is delicious at $12, $13 for a 4-pack. Sadiq, this is the one time that I will say I slightly disagree with you. But that's, you know, it's the great thing about craft beer. We all have different opinions. We all have different price points we'll pay and whatnot. But I still think, Sadiq, you should try this out. Just even if you can get a single. I think you should try this out. This is fucking delicious beer. So, Nitro S'mores, part of the Blackwater Series from Southern Tier, 4.6 out of 5. If you've had this one, let me know what you think about this. I think this is fucking divine. I hope they do more nitro beers within their Blackwater Series. I'd like to see, like, chocolate and their Samoa would be awesome nitro. I think it would just be fantastic. But this works for what it is. You get all the s'mores flavors. It's a bit too sweet overall for me, but I can't say this isn't a great beer, amazing beer, because it is. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by. Oh yeah, 10%. I don't fucking 10% in the taste. No way. No way this tastes like it's 6 or 7. There's no alcohol astringency on the palate. There's not even like a warming in the chest. Fucking voodoo. This is voodoo. Anyway, appreciate everybody stopping by for another Western New York Wednesday. Be on the lookout next week for another installment. And appreciate everybody stopping by until the next one. Cheers.